Well, hey everybody, welcome back. Okay, y'all remember the story Moby Dick, okay? And Captain Ahab was obsessed with his white whale. Well, the reason I tell you that is because I want to tell you this. As mine explorers, we tend to become obsessed with abandoned mines. And my obsession in abandoned mines over the last 6 years or so was the Sterling mine. You guys remember, it was the one I went down 600 feet in episode 72. I was obsessed with that mine, and I had to do it. I had to do it. Well, fast forward all these years later, we have a mine here that Laura has been obsessing about.
Yes.
And that's why we've named this one Moby Dick. That's right, because this is your white whale, Captain Ahab.
Yes, it is.
And so today, Laura is going to do this vertical shaft solo, just like I did. And she's going to freestyle it with no rope, no harness, just like I did. Yes, that's very dangerous to do. I don't recommend anybody doing something like this.
No.
Unless you have some experience like we do. But this is going to be pretty darn cool. Now, what we have here, it's not like the Sterling mine. That was 600. This one here is only 300 feet deep.
320.
320?
Yeah.
And what were they mining out of this one again?
It was silver, lead, and gold.
Okay. So the question is, see, now down in the Sterling mine, all of that silver was coming out of barite, okay? And when you have a barite type geology, you don't get a lot of sulfides and stuff like that. So the mine doesn't stink and end up with a lot of H2S in the lower levels.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%, from what I can see in the geology around here in the waste rock piles, that's not the case. So I think when you head down in here, you might start getting into a stinky mine.
Yeah.
But we've been over this, and you know what to do in all these situations. So I think you're going to have a good time.
I think so too. It's something I've been wondering about for the last 3 years.
3 years. So 3 years ago, you were out here and you put up your tent.
I camped right where Bob is sitting right now on the waste rock pile, and
Okay.
I just hiked around here and constantly was going over the fence and staring into the pit and wondering what was down there. And I was so tempted to go down there, but I was by myself. I had my little Cracker Jack box flashlight, and that was about it. So I said, whatever you do, don't give in. Maybe you'll get down there at some point, maybe you won't, but right now, please don't do it.
No, I think that was a good decision.
I think it was
Just
too.
like, when I did Sterling, I had
Yeah.
3 people topside waiting on me. Old Randy banging on that pipe, wondering, are you ever going to get back out of that mine?
There's certain mines that you explore that you need to have a partner with you.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I mean,
Yeah.
you can try and do it by yourself, but there's a lot more risk involved. I mean, there's risk anyway, but
Yeah. That's the wise thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I'm giving you 3 hours. And if I don't hear from you in 3 hours, I'm coming in after you.
fair enough.
All right, guys, this one should be fun. Let's get started. Okay, guys, we're going to do this one a little bit different today when it comes to the filming. Laura is not comfortable holding a camera rig and negotiating ladders at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to put everything in 360 and helmet cam mode for you. Now I know the 360 kind of warps the image just a little bit, but that's the best that we can do for a hands-free freestyle into a vertical shaft.
Yeah.
So I think it'll turn out okay, Laura.
Yeah.
If you have some more troubles with that helmet cam, just do the best you can with it.
Yeah, it's already going off and on. I just turned it on again, and I think it turned off again.
I
so.
would just save the helmet cam for the drifts if you can, and just use 360 for the shaft and everything else.
All right.
All right, have fun down there.
All right.
I'll be waiting on you. It is what time?
It is 9:25.
All right, 9:25. We'll see you. I'll be coming down to get you in
3 hours.
3 hours.
I plan to be, I'll be somewhere within shouting distance within 3 hours, or I'll be back up here.
Okay,
Yep.
and I'll have the radio turned on.
All right.
All right, have fun down there.
Thanks.
All right, guys, let's get this adventure rolling.
All right. So, here we go. We are not showing you the outside because we don't want people trying this by themselves, which people might have already been down here. I mean, this is a pretty popular area, or not popular, but people know about it. It's near, it is south, let's see, I'll say it's south of Reno. How's that? So, but yeah, I've wondered about this mine for the past 3 years. I was out here on a little camping trip when I was still living up in Reno. And yeah, I saw it and I was like, hey, those ladders look damn good. But you know what? I'm not crazy enough right now in my life to climb down ladders, especially by myself. So yeah, from what I've read, this is 320 feet deep, and to the best of my knowledge, I've never seen any evidence of people being down here. Sounds like Patty might have gone off, so let me get down to this landing and check her out. No, that was just the helmet cam that went off again. I said that thing, it might be because we're not exactly using GoPro batteries, so I think that might be why it's unhappy with us. But Patty's still going, so let me get my backpack straps back on. And so far, so good. Ladders aren't in horrible shape. We got a pH 57 in carbide just in between the rungs. We got some vent pipe over here behind me. And now I'm going to head on to the next ladder set. Head on down. So you may wonder why some mines just eat at us. I can't really explain that. It's just we each have our own things in life that pique our curiosity. And, you know, there's a lot of dangerous things that you can do in life. You just gotta kind of choose your battles when it comes to what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. So let me see, I get my water spout fixed. Looking down the shaft again. I do have Gly's trusty light. I can shine it down there, and I do not see the bottom. Or that might be the bottom, but it's a ways down there. I don't see any drifts so far. So we're gonna keep on heading down the ladder, and hopefully we will encounter a drift at some point. There's gotta be one somewhere. I mean, the waste rock outside is pretty substantial. So I got a little squeeze here with this landing. I thought about just going directly down the shaft, but there was some barbed wire that was in the way. Let's see, put my pack down. Alright, let's see. Suck it in, fatty. Alright, here we go. I see what Gly was saying now about keeping the air monitors up on my vest, because when the ladders are kind of tight like this, you can knock them off. I mean, the clip is pretty good, but at the same time, you really don't want to lose an air monitor, because then you might as well turn around, because going any deeper without either an H2S monitor or an O2 monitor is not very wise. So yeah, I'm glad I'm not any fatter, because these these landings are pretty tight. It's like we got some little bit of collar failure right here, but for the most part, those boards are still propped up. I mean, I think they'll be all right. Don't want that coming down on our head. Make for a bad day. So, the last about a couple days ago, we ended up going down a, I think it was a 300-foot incline shaft. Both of us are feeling, legs are still a little sore. But as I told Gly, I'm like, well, I go down here, hopefully my legs should limber up, huh? Well, I hope so anyway. So, just keep on going down. So far the ladders seem like they're in good shape. It's always a thing when you're going down a vertical shaft. If the ladders are not protected, it can get weathered up near the top and make them quite unstable. So let's keep our fingers crossed that they stay in the condition that they're in. I mean, some of these ladders look very, very new. I don't know how new is new. Maybe in the 70s. Last I heard, they hadn't really mined this mine. I think the last time they mined the mine was in the 40s. But you know, people come around and they check out the old mines to see if there's any minerals that the old timers still forgot. So let's see, up here we got a NG in carbide. Still going down. Still don't see a drift. So we're gonna be, yeah. I wonder if this will just be one main drift at the bottom. I mean, I found some working reports for a nearby mine, but this one had nothing. So it's one of those you just got to kind of, go down and see what you find. As I get snagged up on another landing. And get my head stuck too. These guys are a lot smaller than people are nowadays. I know I've put on some weight over the last year, but that still doesn't stop me from doing things like this. Let's see, look over in the shaft. Still going down. So we will still go down. A little skinny spot over here. Oh, there goes a rock. Still going. All right, that stopped. I mean, yeah, climbing all these ladders every day when you're mining, not to mention all the other things that they did, sure would put the miners in good shape. Let's see, I'm gonna squeeze again. All right, hold on. Okay. Go back up for a second. Move the air monitor. All right, I think I'm gonna have to kind of turn sideways over here. See if that works out better. I could just suck it in. I mean, I might have to take my pack off because then you guys would have problems seeing. So give me just a second. I mean, squeeze down here again. Without my pack tearing, which doesn't look like that's going to be the case, so I'm going to have to take this off right here. Be very cautious so I don't drop it because I got the camera and everything else on it. And that's the last thing that we want to do, because then you guys wouldn't see it at all. So, give me just a second. It's going to look kind of awkward, because it'd be nice if my helmet cam was working, but it's not. So we'll just pull the pack on over here. Alright. Maybe you guys can see that way. There we go. Alright. Pass that tight spot. Get the camera back on. Alright. Just a second here. Yeah, it's a lot different than going in a haulage adit. Vertical shafts present their own challenges, and check Patty when I get down here to the landing, make sure she's not smeared, since we did get kind of hung up on that ladder. But we're almost down to a landing right down here. So you got a big old rock right there. Need to keep that in mind. Some carbide over here. Have you no beep? Have no sex? Something? Will Ray was here. Alright, let me stand right here for a second on this landing. It looks like I got some boards down there. I'm going to shift over a couple of rocks, because definitely do not want this big one coming down on my head. Make sure Patty, I think she's alright. Okay. Looks like we got down here. The landing gets the skinnier landing. Make sure I got my pack clipped on alright. And I'm going to move this bigger rock out of the way, especially since it's on the manway side. Like I said, if it did get knocked loose and came down on my head, it's big enough that it would hurt. So, I'm gonna shift this over here off to the side. There we go. Alright, it should be pretty good right there. Looks like we've got water pipe, vent pipe, air pipe. Alright, on to our next ladder. And it looks like it's going to be easier to get past this one. The one up there was super tight. Alright. I'm going down. I don't smell any sulfides yet. It just has a hint of mine smell, which is, as you guys have often wondered, old timbers, really old oil, and things like that. But nothing that is alarming right now. This ladder, we got a gem over here with some sort of weird, like petroglyphs. Stable little, really skinny ladder or landing right here. Another one that might be a tight squeeze. So, see if I can get down here without removing my pack. Oh, there goes some more rocks. Alright. So it's going to be another skinny one. I'm just going to take my pack off right now again. And swing it over to the side. So I'm not going to be able to get down here with my pack on. Alright. Patty over to the side. Alright. Alright. Gonna go down. It's so tight that I can barely get my butt by. That must be it's saying something right there. Alright, so I get down the rung. Stand here for a second. Pack back on. Alright. Let's see here. Patty's still going. Right. And here for this landing, and I will secure straps. The ladder's a little wobbly, which sometimes they are. Just got to be careful for the most part. Never put all your weight on one rung. Make sure I got my footing. Alright, what do we got here? Alright, so make sure I got my footing. There's that piece of wood. Can't be a piece of wood. I thought it was a dead critter, but oh, another rock. It's another thing too you got to be really careful about in vertical shafts. I said you don't want to drop rocks down on your head. So let's see, going down here, looks like it's going to be a little switcheroo for this ladder. I'm getting more interesting. See if we can see anything else down there yet. That might be the sump. If it's not a sump, it's a plug. It's really hard to tell. It looks like there might be an indentation right there. Possibly a drift. I just don't know. So let's keep on going and see where this goes. So Gly said he was considering going down this one with me when I showed him the pictures. But then, as we said, we all have our Moby Dicks. And that timber right here that's propping up the ladder, so, or it may not be propping up the ladder, but I'm not going to pull it too much because that might cause the ladder to move more than I want to. And that's the last thing we want, is a number kind of 2x4 hanging onto the side of this ladder. So let's see. All right, it's not as bad as I thought it would be getting over here. Just step on the side of the collar. Don't see any other graffiti yet. Can't really see anything above because you got all the landings in the way. Then we got a ladder right here that says bad. So, I don't know if it's talking about the ladder or if it's talking about something else. Hopefully it's not talking about the ladder. It does look like some of it was improved. Like I said, these ladders are really in really good shape. So, it makes me wonder when these were put in. You know, I don't know. I've seen some really old ladders too. They're actually in really good shape, or I guess I shouldn't say they're not in really good shape, but considering that they were probably used in the 1800s and you can still use them to this day, says something. And to me that means, yeah, they built things to last back then. But as far as old ladders go, you should not use those unless you're on rope. I said the main thing with this is using a rope here would be more detrimental. And with ladders, with landings, sometimes it makes it a little bit safer. Still not entirely safe. Many years ago, I would not be doing this. And even now, you need to pick your battles with your shafts. There's lots of them out there, but not all of them are as in fine a shape as this one is. And also the fact that some verticals have no landings. And right now, where I am standing, I'm going to get some better footing because that landing is total crap. I'm going to lean over here, the shaft, see if we can see anything else down there. This support that I have my right hand on is the best right now. Let's see, they hit my head. Let's see if you guys can see. Yeah, that's either plugged or that's the bottom. But the vent pipe continues to go down, as does everything else. So we will continue to go down as long as conditions are right. For example, this right here, I'm going to move this board And if I can, I'm going to place it where it will not fall on my head if it does decide to let loose. Let's see. I'd rather have it over the shaft versus the manway, since that's what I am doing. And then right here, you can see the landing. It's pretty much failed. Where the ladder is right there. Let's see, both of these are in very, very poor shape. Let me see if I can figure out the best way to get over there where this land. Luckily this ladder right here is not sitting on that landing that is snapped. So we shouldn't have to worry about the ladder going anywhere if that snaps, but that's a piece of wire that was sitting right there. Better that it goes down now versus there's another rock. Move that. That stops. No, I guess it stops somewhere. So I might have to squeeze around the backside of this ladder if I can safely over the shaft, which I would not recommend, which I don't even know if I'm going to do that. I might just have to stand on this ladder and swing over to this next ladder. I mean, I guess this piece is fairly stable right here. This is going to be another spot too where, yeah, even this, you need to step on it the right way. And getting over to that ladder, it looks like I might also have to take my pack off again. So let's see. Just hold on. Swing over. And just like that. I need to be mindful of this this piece of landing when I come back up. So I know that I should not step on it. I'm going to take off my pack again to weave through this next skinny section. And so yeah. Like I said, it's kind of hard for you guys to see when I do this, but it's the only way that I can get through this ladder section without getting caught up, which is what I did up there. So let me get down here a little bit further. I'll swing my pack back on, and then I will need to check that the camera is not all smudged when I get down to this next ladder, because you guys can't see. I mean, the footage will not be that great if it's all smeared. So let me get down here. This next landing, which definitely looks better than that one with the crack in it. So get down here. See how this ladder looks for this landing. I'm gonna step on that. That landing is not the best either. Let's see if I can find a good foothold. Yeah, I gotta move this rock over here. Looks like this landing is also very bowed. I put the rock right there. All right, let me look at Patty again. Make sure she is not smeared. Make sure she's still running. I saw that I did bump the screen for a second. Make sure that she is still in 360 mode so you guys can see everything. Looks to be the case. Battery's getting kind of low, but she's still going, so we're gonna still go until she stops, and then we will change her out. All right. Yeah, this would have been really difficult with a rope when you're weaving back and forth. There's a number 3 on the vent pipe right there. All right, so like I was saying, this board seems fairly stable. I'm going to leave that where it is, and I am going to avoid this landing. That ladder is, hold on a second, that ladder's getting janky. Just a second. That ladder is no longer attached to the wall. So, let's see. Yeah, that's really loose. Let me see if I can possibly move it to a better spot. But these things are heavy too. I mean, it might be in good enough shape where it's gonna stay put. At least you hope so. All right. Look down here into the shaft again. And let's see. I can see any drifts or anything. Like I said, I thought I saw a drift just right down here. Could be wrong though. Let me see. If that's a drift, it would be nice. And actually, it kind of does look like one. Let me see. Yeah, we either have a drift or we have collar failure. One or the other. But until I get down to that point, it's going to be hard to tell. Give me a second. I'm going to get a drink of water and make sure this ladder is stable enough, and I will be right back. All right, got a drink of water. Now what I need to do is make sure that this board is stable enough, because I do not want that coming down on my head. That's a big one, really big one. And then, like I said, this ladder, it looks like it is resting on that landing. However, it is no longer attached to the shaft wall, so I need to be extremely careful using this ladder. Let's see. It looks like there is some wire holding it into place. Oh, that looks like it might do the trick. So I'm gonna squeeze on down here. And another really tight landing. I'm gonna try and go sideways. See if I can get by with my pack on versus take it off again. It's kind of annoying when you have to do that, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to get on by. Alright, I think I cleared it. Almost. Almost. Let's see. No, not quite yet. Let me get my other arm down. So I can squeeze over to the side over here. I think I got it. Almost. Oh, I got my strap. That's why you strap all your packs on. But I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get down here without taking my pack off. So I'm going to get down to this landing and put that strap back on so I don't have to get hung up again, which would be nice. Let me see this landing. Landing appears to be okay for the moment. Right. Let's see, how much closer are we to that potential drift? I think it might be the next one down. Let me see if I can get this strap on. I might be 100 feet down now. I'm not very good when it comes to depths and all that. As far as, yeah, I think we might have a drift down here, which will be good. So, we get down this next ladder. See if we can get down here with my pack on. Versus take that off again. And then if we're lucky, maybe we will have our first drift, which would be nice. But let's see, I can go sideways, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to clear my pack. Alright, I think I got it clear, just about. Alright, there we go. Got a new ladder that I'm standing on. I got my head stuck. And I got an older ladder behind it. Yeah, we do have a drift here, so that's good. And a dead pack rat in front of my face. And once I get down here, I'm going to change out my camera because I said when I checked it, it was down to 29%. But yeah, we definitely have a drift here, and we have rail. Awesome. All right, guys. I'm just about down. I hit my head again. Be good to get down here and take a break for a minute. Climbing ladders is never easy, especially when you're older. Alright, let's see. Step, some janky looking timbers, looking on down the shaft. Manway still goes. Hold on to that. Back up, there's the shaft. Alright, let's see. That's definitely either a plug or a sump down there. Right now, the ladders still go down, but it's impossible to tell if there's another drift. But there is one right here, so let me stand over here. Whew. And we got the infamous keep out bad air over there. We have carbide right here. It's like nagel, clay, and then a W. Boycer September 1st, 41. We also have a 66, 62, it might be a 40, 68. There's the shaft. Like I said, give me just a minute. I'm gonna change out my batteries and then we will explore this drift and hopefully not encounter any bad air. I'll be back. All right, so here we are at this level. It looks to be pretty substantial. Yeah, it looks to be more than just a level. It might be an actual station. You look up above at all those timbers. Got an old one right there. The vent pipe, which was coming down, ends and then comes apart over here. You got a drum right there. Let's see if there's anything in it. Looks like oil, probably an oil. They used it for oil. Part of a broken bottle down there. Doesn't look too old. Let's get back over here towards the shaft for a minute and see what we can see. So it keeps going down. There is, the ladder does keep going. It doesn't look like the vent pipe does, but the pipe does. So, as I step on some boards, after we explore this drift, we'll take a look at it and see if it keeps going down. Or if it, like I said, it looked kind of like a sump down there too, or it was entirely caved. So for now, we're gonna check this out. Over here, we got a lot of load marks. See them faded down there. All the way up there. You got carbide, nagel, clay, Clark maybe, Booch, Joan. You got a 1966, 1962. You got a arrow pointing north, which is correct. September 1st of 44. I got a 40 down there with more scribbles, a 68. Another one down here, a 622 of, I'm not sure, it might be 20. I know this mine was, they kind of found this area in the 1920s. Some more little load marks up there. Vent pipe goes back there. Load marks over here. As I was taking a break, we have, let me see if my helmet cam is gonna work. Might not. Okay, helmet cam's on for just a minute. We got some Hercules blasting caps, number 100, or 100, number 6. Wilmington, Delaware, made in USA. Handle carefully, and if you guys can read that right there. It still is, it looks like it's kind of corroded, so maybe there are some in there, and blasting caps are not something you should mess with. So I'm going to leave that right there, as you guys can see with the camera. I'm not going to open it, just in case there are some in there. Looks like we have some old paper on the ground. We got a glove. So the people were working this in the 60s. And up ahead we have the keep out bad air. But we're going to go that way anyway. I do have air monitors with me. And if they sound, then I will turn around and that'll be it for this mine. There's also a piece of paper here that says Cypress Mines on it, number 3062. But let's go the direction that the vent pipe is. Considering that there is a thing of blasting caps right there, we're going to be extra cautious, dynamite and all that. Probably 100 feet down. There's a Coors can, probably from the, let's see if there's a date on it. No, doesn't look real old. All right, let's keep going. We got a carbide over here, 375. Helmet cam went off again. Try and turn it on again. For whatever reason, it just does not want to work. Here we got October 14th in 1950, June 22nd, 1955, 56. What do we have over here? Looks like maybe a classifier table. More carbide. Let's see, looks like we might have a split. The ground in here is not looking the best. We got a carbide tin right here. That's pretty cool, it still says carbide on it. Drift goes to the right with very bad ground. Looks like the primary goes ahead. After we take a look at this, yep, miner's lamp, carbide can. All right, over here. So the drift goes off to the left also. Really ugly looking ground. Yeah, this rock is not the best. Looking over to the right, it does go back that way. It looked like they had a vent pipe over there. And I think that might be the vent pipe that's just kind of fallen down, but you can see all this ground fall right here. Even got hunks above my head, so I'm gonna keep going down where they've staged everything. This definitely looks a little bit more stable down here. And then as we come back, I'm considering jogging off either to the right or to the left. I'm guessing this was probably the primary. They had cross ties in here, some more load marks. The air doesn't smell too horrible. And usually your alarms will go off prior to the air, to the oxygen level getting too low. So that will be your hint to proceed with caution, if not turn around. So I'm not going to overly worry myself about the bad air too much. But we will just, like I said, remain cautious. Some ground falling here, but some more graffiti. Yeah, this is pretty neat. I was wondering when we were finally going to find a drift. If I had to go all the way down to the bottom of this thing, that would have been quite the chore. But from what I'm seeing right now, this might be the main drift. I mean, there could be another one further down. It's really hard to see when you're in the shaft because of with all the timbers. It looks like it could be a drift, but then it also might just be a spot where the timbers have caved. So let's see. Oh, still going straight ahead. I think that says 350 feet. This one looks to be the most stable. We got a dud. So I'm guessing that means this will be the end of the drift. But this is definitely the most stable of the three. And it looks like this is indeed the dud. You got the face right here. And the miners decided to write their names. And we got Barbara Bergerber. Don't know if that was someone's wife or girlfriend or if there was actually a woman down here. October 18th of 71. All right, so that's the face here. Ho ho. Turning back around. We're going to head back towards the junction that we found. Obviously this was a dud. Did not find anything in here. They did have track all the way back here though. So they were hoping that they could find something good, but it does look like the ore body is all back where the junction is, where the ground is not the best. I got 200 feet. So, let's see. Yeah, when you go down vertical shafts and then you come to a drift, and if they look pretty dang sketchy for one reason or another, you really gotta choose wisely if you're going to document those or not, because if something does happen, You gotta self-rescue. Nobody's gonna come down here. So we're getting back up here towards the junction. Straight ahead up there where the vent pipe is, and the rail is where the main shaft is. Got a bunch of said they got all kinds of vent pipe in here. Looking above, that's all ground fall. All that came down. So I think I'm going to go left. We're gonna save the going to the left for now. And yeah, so we're gonna head down to this is heading back in the direction of the shaft. My voice is no longer echoing, which that means the ground is not the best at all. There's a lot of ground fall in here. I'm only going to go as far as I feel comfortable, and then I'm going to turn around because yeah, this is definitely looks like there is groundwater in here. Oh, let me just be kind of cautious, and if it doesn't feel right, I need to turn back. Yeah, you got all. I'm surprised this wasn't timbered, unless it was timbered and it just smashed the timbers. All right, looks like we might be coming to an end where it's just a big chunk of ground fall. I think this is probably going to be as far as I go when I get up here. So I'm not liking the looks of this ground. Some carbide right there, and it might just pinch off over here. Might go around the corner, but you got a big old hunk right there. It's waiting to come down. Let's see if you guys can see around the corner. I bet it just goes around there and stops. I'm not going to go under that. This has already come down, so we're going to turn around. See, this is all just flaking. All right, let's turn around and go back to the junction. Yeah, you got all this stuff. Just look at that. It's waiting to come down. It's not a good drift to be in. So get on out of here. I think I see some timbers on the ground. So it wouldn't surprise me if they had shored this up and it just caved. Their DS September, maybe at 10. September 28th of, not sure what. All right. Shouldn't linger too long in spots like this. I mean, 9 times out of 10 it will not come down, but you don't want to jinx yourself, because that would hurt. All right, we're back here, the main junction. Let's see, we can figure out what this is. Is it just maybe a shelf? Let's take a look before we go down that other way. All right, let's see. Might have just been a shelf of sorts. So yeah, we're back at the junction. That was the first way that we went, straight ahead. We just came from the left where the miner's lamp is. And we still have to the right. But for now, I'm gonna take a break, get a little bit of water, and then choose whether I will go down the way of the vent pipe, which looks to be even worse than the way I just came from. I'll be back in just a minute. All right, guys, I'm back after a little bit of water. One thing I did while I was taking a break, I moved my air monitors down to the sides of my pants. Honestly, the thing here that raises my awareness more is the stability of this ground, but I do not feel any airflow. So when you start going down drifts, such as this one that I'm going to go down in just a second where the vent pipe went, a lot of times the bad air can kind of pool behind the collapses. So if that's the case, I would rather have the air monitors lower on my body so they can detect it if that were to be the case. So this is the one that we have not explored yet. as you can see. Real ugly. So we're gonna go as far as I feel comfortable, and then we will come back to the main shaft. Looks like a modern day glove over there. Maybe we had another hardy explorer in here, though I have not seen any footprints recently. So I can already tell right here, I think that's just it's just the minerals. They did have track down here, but my voice is not echoing at all. This ground is very unstable. But it looks like this is where the track went. There's a pretty substantial collapse up here. We're gonna go up here and see what it looks like. There you go. Vent pipes all come down. You can tell the moisture has picked up in this drift. Maybe that's why they had the vent pipe here. Let's see. What do we have over here? Oh, just the old slump of groundfall. Lovely. All right, does it keep going? Looks like it might. Where I'm standing right now, I probably should not be standing. And looking back there, squeeze behind here very gently. This is crazy. So, got the vent pipe again. There's a flashlight so you guys can see. Keep going. Looks like it hooks around to the right. Interesting. Okay. All right. It does. Faces out that way, but it goes to the right. So, I'm glad I did come back here, because this rock immediately improves. You can hear the echo. Vent pipe on the floor. It looks like they left it that way. But yeah, the ground definitely improves down this drift, that's for sure. I'm still gonna use caution, as you always should. Let's see. Looks like you got a drift that goes off to the right, and then it continues straight. I'm gonna go straight for now, where the vent pipe is. And I'm gonna come back, we'll check that out. The way it's curving to the right, maybe it just hooks back around. We got over here some pockets, yeah, a couple of pockets. It's like another pocket. All right, I guess this is the main then. I thought the one straight ahead would be the main, but apparently this is the one. Let's see, where does this go? Actually, it seems like it loops back around behind the shaft. Got a pocket over there. Maybe that connects with the other one. We got another little pocket over there. Stay on the main for now. Down here we got Wilson certified cheese. When was that from? I don't recognize that. All right, what do we have here? Another station? Oh, I suppose we do. Wow. I thought, wow. All right then. So it goes off over there to the right. And then we've got, let's look around here for a minute. Oh boy. Decisions. Well, for now, let's look around. There's a piece of clothing. Looks like they may have had a separator table right there. What's that? Sardines, miner's favorite. Some sort of paper. Sandwich bread? Yeah. They got a golden crust is good bread. Maybe you guys can confirm that, because I've never heard of that bread before. More sardines. We have some newspaper over here. Let's see if we got a date. I also got a motor oil can. Let's see if my helmet cam will work for a minute. Would be nice, because there's so much cool stuff down here. And turn on for me. There we go. Copyright 1951. All right, that's when that is from. Also, Reno something. I'm not sure of the date. Oh wait, there we go. April 27th, 1950. All right, and over here, the top of some sort of can. Not sure what that is. What is it? Grip and glassmaker grind. Not positive. All right, a couple of old shovel blades. We will check that out in just a minute. I want to stay on the main and then work our way back. Got a shovel right here. Part of an old, I think, Hercules dynamite box. Let's keep going straight. Another classifier screen. Got a little pocket over there. Looks like another piece of newspaper. Let's see, another June 11, 1950. 7 years before my dad was born. All right. They no longer have track down here. So, the helmet cam turns off as soon as I show the newspaper. So we'll turn back on. Looks like it goes around the corner. All right. Sure we got the lights at the right angle. Yeah, this is really strange. It's like the shaft is over there to the right. I certainly did not see any other drifts on the way down. What do we have over here? Let's see. We've got a drift that goes up that way. Looks like it's either backfilled or it caved. Looks like the main. Let's see, do you see any footprints? No, nobody's been down here in a while. We will continue to go down the main way this way. Another piece of dynamite box. So, let's see, what do we have around here? Is this going to be... Feels like it's getting kind of humid again, so it might just face out up here. No, it keeps going. Got more wood. Got a big old chunk that came down. More ground that's pretty ugly looking. Oh yeah, look at all that. It's about ready to come down. Right. I'll keep going past this. We have an ore pass. Now I think they're starting to work up there. And then they quit. I think this might be the face. Yep. This is the face of the main 527. I'll flip back around and go back to some of our other junctions that we saw. This is actually pretty cool down here. And I have not seen any footprints. So it's been a while it's been a while since people have been down here. So we have this drift off to the right, which I think it may have been backfilled. I'm not positive. I'll go over here and take a look. Why not? We're here, right? All right, let's go up here. Might be some footprints. Yeah, I think I see some. Somebody's been just as bold as me. Coming in here, bold or stupid, whatever people want to call it. So back up there. Looks like it might go around the corner. Let me see. This is backfill. Might go around the corner, but I'm not going to crawl through that by myself. I think this is just a cross cut, and I bet it just peters out up there, so we're going to call this one good and not go up that way. Plus the ground is kind of ugly in here. Turn back around. Go back over here. There's a bee on the wall. So, let's see. Go back down this way. There's definitely fresher down here, which is nice. There's a couple of shafts near this one that have I was thinking they might be air shafts, but honestly I haven't seen anything it's really tied in that way yet. So I'm not sure about that. All right, back to this area. See if we missed anything. Another bit of newspaper, 1951. Haven't found anything older yet. But they were definitely down here in the 50s and the 60s. All right, let's see. Got some sulfur in there. Yeah, you can see the vein. We're digging in there, looking for the goodies. Might be some more of that, I think it's called epsomite, little fine crystals that we found in this area before. All right, we're back at our drift, or our junction, I should say. Well, since we're facing, that would be the main that way. You see where the pipe fittings finish right there. Got track going off to the left. Looks like we might have a winds off to the right. Another old shovel. So let's go down to the right first and see what we have down here. See if the helmet cam wants to cooperate again. Looks like that's just a little pocket that they were cleaning out. It might go under there, but I'm not sure. That was probably, maybe that connected with the other one, but it's obviously backfilled now. Oh, look, we got a ladder around the corner. Yeah, that's just a little pocket that they cleaned out. Yeah, right in there. You got a little, oh yeah, they were starting to stope in here. So you got your ladder, you were up there digging into that. Some more newspaper on the ground. Let's see, is the helmet cam on? Can't tell because it keeps going off and on. No, I think it's off. Maybe now it's on. Anyways, so we got new pure mild ivory flakes with radiant action. What is her secret? Vitone. Looks like more 50s. Let's see. Turn down my light a little bit so you guys can read it more. Many never suspect cause of backaches. I don't see a date on this. Prices were cheaper back then, so I'm guessing it's more 50s. Possibly. Yeah. More 50s. We got some rice. Does it say rice price nice twice? All right then. Okay. More newspaper, yeah, little bits and pieces here and there. Don't want to spend too much time on them. All right, so let's turn around. Like I said, they're definitely stoping up in here. They were down in there digging. Yep, you can see that down in there. All right, I got your old shovel right there. And then this is looking back to where the main drift was. And over here, I got an arrow, and it goes up this direction. So let's go up here next and see what we can find. I said I thought it might kind of connect back with the other one, and it actually feels like there's air here, so maybe it does. A bunch of old shovels, 1, 2, 3 right there. Let's see, helmet cam, you want to cooperate? All right, what do we have over here? To the right, looks like it may, I think that just connects, yeah, that connects back with the main. So this is that one that hooked around to the right on the way in. A pocket over here with a little bucket, or I mean, I think it's might be pearl oil, what we saw in another mine recently. So I'll go back over here. Maybe this just faces out. Or does this connect with where we came from? Well, there goes the helmet cam again. All right, what do we have in here? This is definitely, this is a different branch than where we were. I'm gonna go left first. See what's down here. Sometimes you can get kind of turned around in these mines, especially when they start going every which direction. Which I never really thought you could, but at least we don't use fishing line and glow sticks to show where we are. This old rope up there. back here it looks like we got a 358, and then it faces out, blasting cap on the ground. Alright. I'll go back this way. I'll go straight for a second. See where it goes. And then I think that is everything that we've seen this direction so far. Let's see. Now go up and over this. I see all the, looks like sulfides. Lots of sulfides. Stope up there. Yeah. Alright, let's go straight. Another stope up above us. Yeah, they were cleaning that out. Can really and see where they were digging. Definitely interested in this area. I've got a couple of little load marks right there. Cute. Going back this way. Or if it just faces out also. Now what's here? Oh yeah, this is where it connects back up with the main drift. August 5th of 1950. You got a bird and fish right here? I'm not sure. And yeah, this just hooks back around to the main shaft. So I was wrong. That other one did not tie in. So that means that's the way that we came in. This was the way that hooked around to the right to connect with all of that. So for a minute, I'm going to turn back around. We're going to go back down this way. Then we got to go left. And there was another little cross cut on the left. Yeah, here's, like I said, a couple of, looks like fish. Some miners were artists, that's for sure. All right, let's see. So we'll go back up here. And I take a left, which is, yeah, it's interesting how the ground changes so suddenly. Looks like we have a old little, what is this, knife case? E-swing, probably not real old. Maybe some other mine explorer forgot it. How the ground, 1 minute your voice can echo, and the next minute it's nothing. All right, so we're back over here. That pocket right there, and then this one over here. And I thought this tied back in with the main, but now I'm not sure. Oh, look up above. Wow, I got a big stope up there. Geez, that thing's huge. This might just tie into that stope. Let's go find out. All right. Go over here. No, we're back to the main again. I'm getting all turned around in the mine. All right, yeah. So we went straight and then straight faced out to the right, just curved back around over here. To the left was that little pocket down into, look like they may have been starting winds, and then there was a ladder in that stoped out area. Over here is I guess another little pocket, which makes me wonder now with the this stope that's over here. We'll go back here for a second, look up there again. How do they get up in the stope? So I have not seen anywhere that you can get up there. But yeah, oh yeah, you can definitely see it from this direction. See? The stope, you got the stole, and they went. It's really hard to see even for myself. Maybe you guys can make it out, but it went up and back and around. Yeah, they really cleaned that out. Well, there's no good hand and footholds to get up there, so I'm not going to go up in that stope. We're going to turn back around this way to the main. And we've seen everything in this direction. So we're going to head back towards that shaft, which is this way, through that really nasty ground where there was virtually no echo. And yeah, it was pretty sketchy looking. But I don't remember seeing any areas into the stope from this way. So we'll just keep an eye out. But otherwise, we're going to head back towards this shaft. That's where we're going right now. See if there was just another pocket that was over there. Let's see, did we miss something? I think we did. No? Pocket, pocket. No, I don't think we missed anything. I'm gonna keep going back this way. See if we missed anything else. Let's see. Did we go down here? Let's go find out. I know, yes we did, because you can tell right there, there's that fish carbide. All right, it's easy enough to remember. All right, so yes, now we are indeed heading back towards the main. Bent pipe on the ground. And we're getting back into the very bad ground. So I'm gonna be kind of quiet in here and see if I can get through here as fast as possible. It looked like, I think it just went up there and faced out, but yeah, that's too crumbly. I'm not going in there because I already have to go back this way. The shaft is back over there. So, like I said, I'm going to be kind of quiet, see if I can get through here as fast as possible without making noise. And yeah, just come along with me. Alright, I'm just about back over here to the shaft. Yeah, things like that always kind of set you on edge when you see this much ground fall. Alright, here we are. Back at the main junction. That went up there and faced out. That looked like it went up there and faced. I went as far as I felt comfortable. And back behind me, through all that nasty, is where we just came from. So let's head back over here to the right, which is where the shaft is. And we will consider continuing on down those ladders to see if there is another drift. All right, here's the shaft again. Honestly, I didn't see any winzes, so I really don't know if there are any other drifts down below. And I didn't even see any ore chutes either. I mean, ore chutes, you would have thought there would be some with that big stope up above, but maybe it failed. So let's kind of get over here near the shaft as safely as possible. Look down. That probably might go another 100 feet. I can see the bottom, but like I said, I don't know if that's plugged or if it is, if that's a drift down there. It looks like the pipe does continue down. So give me a minute, I'm gonna get a drink of water, check my batteries, and then I will be right back. All right guys, we're back. So I've been down here about an hour and 15 minutes. I think what I'm going to do is go a little bit further down, say maybe another 15 minutes, see if I can scope out another drift and go from there. Let me stand over here for a second and see if my radio works. When you're this far down inside of a shaft, sometimes it is hard to get a hold of people topside, but if I can, I'll let Gly know that I'm doing okay. And then I'm gonna head down that way a little bit further, depending on how the ladders look. You got a copy? Can you hear me? Well, it sounds like the radio is not working, which, once again, when you're down 100 feet in the shaft and you have all of this interference that is, you know, in between you and the shaft, sometimes it's hard to get a hold of people topside. Move that board over there. Let's see. So like I said, let's get my other ladder. I can hopefully see better. Got my lights up. All right. So looking down, I can definitely see a plug. And the pipe does go down there. It looks like it gets pretty dang messy. And I think there's vent pipe down there too. It probably fell off. I don't know if I can get any further down there with all that stuff in the way. Let me see if I can get down to that next ladder where oh yeah, we got that timber in the way too. Vent pipe does go down. The pipe does go down. But it makes me wonder if this is, if it's just plugged down there. I mean, it's really hard to tell if there's a drift or not, which honestly, I don't think there is. You guys might have to take my word for this, but looking down from where I can see, unless there's a drift at the very bottom, I think all of that is just collapse or debris that people have thrown down over the years. And, you know, I think based on the condition of the manway and all that and whatnot, I'm gonna head back up. It seems like it's the main level of this mine. And to go any further and to document that, if there is a level down there, it would be pushing my time limit on when I told Gly that I would be back out of this mine. And the last thing I want is for him to worry and have to come down here himself, because it is a very tight fit to come down these ladders. Looking back up, I can't believe I came down all that myself. A nut job. There's a collar way up there. So yeah, I'm gonna call it. Like I said, looking down right now, I do see a plug. It's very hard to tell if there's a drift. I don't think there is. If there was one, it's probably past all that. Looking at the manway, you can see all that debris that's already, oh yeah, I don't know if I could even get down there if I wanted to. Looking down there, you got the rest of the vent pipe blocking the manway. The manway's coming in. And yeah, it's a big old cluster down there. So I think we're gonna call this good. I'll step back over here away from the shaft for a minute. Yeah, we're gonna have to call this good. I feel very good about getting all the way down here without a rope. I'm not gonna push my luck any further based on not seeing any winzes or anything like that. I don't know if there is another level down below me, but I just cannot see one. Looking down the shaft, and based on the condition of the manway and even this section of the shaft, I'm gonna call it good. So I'm gonna head back up, and once I get topside, after I squeeze my butt through some of those nice little landings, we will see you up there. But I'll keep Patty rolling, so in case there is any sort of graffiti or anything else of interest that I see along the way, you guys will capture it also. Otherwise, give me a little bit and I will see you topside.
All right, there you go. Back up and out, Captain Ahab. Okay, let's do a recap.
All right, so I went down, and let me say this. I have put on some weight in the past year, I'll admit it. If I had put any more weight on, I don't know how I would have squeezed between the ladders and a couple of those landings. It was extremely tight. Those were built for young guys in their teens and 20s, you know, skinny as a rail, not little fatties like me. Gly would have had a lot of fun, no offense, going down there. So I got down to what I'm thinking was the 100-foot level. It was a big station,
Yeah.
bunch of carbide. There were a couple of main drifts that went off,
Okay.
but there were no ore chutes and there were no winzes. So from what I gather, it was they didn't really make any money in this mine. There was one big stope that went up for a bit, but even after exploring that 100-foot level,
Yeah.
looking down further into the shaft, I could not make out any other drifts unless they were beyond. They were down below the plug, which it looked like it could have been plugged.
Yeah.
But the manway was getting very nasty, and I figured I didn't have enough time to go all the way down there to see a plug, if there was a plug,
Yeah.
and then climb back up before Gly started to worry about me.
Mm-hmm.
So I called it, and that's what you guys saw. I went as far as 100, came back up. There could have been a 200 level, there could have been a 300 level. The pipe, the vent pipe, all of that did continue down, but I think it was all plugged up down there.
So it sounds to me, from her description, is we have a 300-foot shaft, a station at the 100, a possible station at the 200,
Yeah.
more than likely a station at the 300, okay, but on the 100 level, no ore chutes.
No,
Nothing at all.
no ore
And
chutes.
here's another thing that Laura didn't see is any kind of winzes or workings going down between the 100 and the 200-foot level,
Yeah,
which tells me that they probably went down to the 200 and they drifted out just like what you discovered today.
yeah,
They did that at the 300, but the thing never went into production.
no,
And what I mean by production is, if you can remember last weekend, when we were doing the 300-foot decline shaft, or
Yeah.
the winds inside that mine, there was all of the ore was taken out between each level as we worked ourselves down into
Yeah.
the mine. And that's exactly what would have happened here. They would have put in a string of ore chutes, and then they would have worked that ore out in between the levels, and that never occurred.
no.
And if it didn't occur on the 100, it probably didn't occur on the 2 or the 300 either.
You wouldn't think so unless
Yeah.
they did find something tastier deeper down, but I don't think they did.
No, what we have here is just a hole in the ground. A bunch of guys speculated on what they might find,
Based
and
on some of the other stuff in the area, but
yeah,
it
just
never turned
didn't.
out to be very much.
No, even you said you read where there was only what?
A couple of carloads of ore
And
that
that's
were
it.
shipped out in the 20s or 40s
Uh-huh.
that were decent ore, I guess, but otherwise there's
Interesting.
nothing else really talks about anything like that.
Just think about how many mines that we have found like that, proven, where you can see just how much money went into them,
Yeah,
only for them to just never go into production,
Yeah.
and all it ends up being is an expensive hole in the ground.
and there's a lot of I mean, that drift down there was fairly substantial, so they went looking for it, but they couldn't really find what they were looking for.
I couldn't believe how nice this collar is.
Yeah, it's a very nice collar.
Wow, so much money went into this.
Yep.
Well, the old boy running around selling stock certificates for this mine, he made some money. The people that ended up owning those stock certificates just ended up with a wad of toilet paper.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's what I see from this mine.
Yep.
All right, well, I'm glad you did it.
I am
Super
too.
cool. You know, mine exploring is one thing, but it's not until you do a vertical shaft solo.
Yeah.
That's really super exciting, and I'm really happy that you did that today.
Looking back up at the collar and just seeing a little
Yeah.
pinprick of light and wondering,
There's-
looking at some of the ladders too, like, why did I come down that?
But there's just something crazy about doing this all by yourself,
Yeah.
solo. I don't know. This is the kind of thing for crazy people like us.
Yeah.
It's just who we are. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming along on another fun adventure. This was pretty darn cool. Right now, see, I don't know how the footage is all going to play out. I
Yeah.
really hope that Patty there on her shoulder behaved herself, and we got some really cool footage for you. So
Yeah.
we're going to run around in this area. I see waste rock piles all over the place, so we're going to run around a bit, do some recon this afternoon, and see what we can find for you for next weekend. All right, guys, again, thanks for coming along, and we'll see y'all again next Saturday. Y'all take care now. Bye-bye.